Hello! So today I'm starting a new series for the Hunger Games. So it's going to be 13 looks, and they're all going to be inspired by a district and then finally by the capital for the Hunger Games. If you couldn't tell, today is District 12. District 12 is the mining district, so it's very coal and fire and stuff like that. And so I kind of wanted to be inspired, obviously, by my brown hair and my braid. Sorry, my braid is terrible. I don't know how to do hair, and this wig has a lot of layers in it. It's inspired by Katniss. I had a shirt that was kind of like a one sleeve red shirt, so it kind of reminded me of the dress that she wore to when she's being interviewed by Caesar Flickerman. So I kind of went off of that for this thing, but for the eyes and stuff I really just wanted to do something that, you know, coal, smoke, and then have kind of a fire element underneath because she's the girl on fire. So I hope that you guys like this and are ready for the rest of the tutorials. I'm going to start this look off by applying Too Faced Shadow Insurance onto the lid. Then the next thing I'm going to do is take Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in 0. I'm just going to make a pretty thick line right at the lashes. So I'm gonna get in, like, see that little area? I just want to make sure that that's filled in because it's easy to kind of miss that. So while that's still creamy, I'm going to take a pencil brush and just blend this out and up. Okay, I kind of waited too long, but usually if you do this right after, it's really easy to blend out. I'm going to be using my Rainbow Inglot shadows for this just because they have a good range of browns to black, which is what I need for this look. So the first color I'm going to use is actually this really light one, and I'm going to mix it with that shade right there. And I will link to, on my blog, I'll put the names of the shades. I just don't want to pull them out right now and end up breaking them. Fluffy brush for this, and I'm just putting this right into the crease. Then blending it upwards. The next shade I'm going to use is this shade right here, the lightest gray in this gradient. I'm just going to press this right on top of the black pencil. I'm using this brush just so that it's really soft and isn't really defined because I don't want it to be. Once I've done that, I'm going to take a pencil brush and the matte black that's in that gradient, and I'm just going to put that right around the lashes. So this color is really going to be on the lid. I don't want it to go darker much higher than that. Really just where what shows when my eyes are open. But I'm going to blend it into the gray, so it's not just like a stiff line. The next thing I'm going to do is use these Urban Decay Stardust. I love these. I've recently been introduced to them. And so this is Void. You can see how amazing these look. I did a review on these, but obviously I can't show that crazy shimmer in a photograph because it depends on where the light hits it. I'm going to use that same fluffy blending brush I used before. Just pick up this color. These colors are really sheer, but they have like a ton, hi, I'm not in focus. They have a ton of shimmer. So I'm just going to take that and then just press it on top of all of the shades. And you can see that amazing, amazing shimmer. It's awesome. Next thing is take this brush. This is from the Real Techniques brushes. It's supposed to be a crease brush, but I like using it for a highlight and to blend out like that black. So I'm going to be using this shade right there. And I'm just using this color along the brows as well as right on the darker shades to kind of help blend them out a little bit. So now I'm going to use my NYX Jumbo Eyeshadow Pencil in Milk. I just place a little bit. Actually, that was a lot more than I wanted to use, but what can you do? On my brow bone. And I'm going to blend it out. This is a Rockin' Republic brush, I think. So now I'm going to work on underneath the eyes, and I'll worry about cleaning up like this area over here in a bit. So the main things I'm going to use are these oranges and a little bit of this yellow. So I'm going to use this shade down here, all three of those, and probably this middle yellow right there. And I'm going to be using an angle brush. So the first color I'm going to use is actually that darkest orange that I had shown. So I'm going to start this right where the upper and lower eyelid meet And then put this all the way underneath the lashes. I don't want this to look defined on the bottom, so I'm going to kind of blend it out. Use some of the lighter oranges kind of throughout, because this is supposed to be kind of like a fire. I just don't want it to look too Halloweenish. I'm going to take some of the yellow and apply it right underneath where the waterline is. Then I'm going to take possibly one of my favorite eyeliners ever, which is Urban Decay liquid eyeliner in El Dorado. It's amazing. There's nothing quite like it. And I'm going to actually apply it onto an angle brush just so that the application is a little bit easier. And then I'm just going to take this underneath the lashes and just make a nice smooth line across the lower lid. If it gets on the lashes, it's not really a big deal because it's going to be covered with mascara anyway. Again, if this is obviously isn't perfect right away, this might be a little bit easier with the actual brush, or you can just kind of fix it with the orange eyeliner. So now I'm going to use my Maybelline Master Drama on the waterline. Curl my lashes. And then apply my Armani mascara. And then I'm just gonna, after this, I'm just gonna clean up down here. Alright, so then finally I'm just going to apply some lashes from Faux to kind of finish off the look. And then the eyes are done. For my blush, I'm using a Rimmel blush called Pink Rose. This is a Sigma Bunny brush. I always get asked about these pink and blue ones. So I'm just kind of gonna dust it on my cheeks. For highlighter, I'm gonna use my super special, really expensive highlighter. This is from Guerlain, and it's Paru de New. I'm totally saying that wrong, but that's okay. At least I got the name brand right? I'm gonna use this small little brush, and this goes underneath my eyes, along the cheekbone, and I like to put it on the side of my nose as well. I'm gonna use a similar brush but a different one for my highlighter. This is Benefit Hoola. Okay, so finally for lips, I really don't want a lot of color, but I do want a lot of gloss. So I'm going to use these Urban Decay Lip Love. This is in Taunt. So just kind of a nude shade. It really is very sheer, but it gives a really nice like wet look. So that's all for my District 12 Katniss look. I'll be doing these, like I'm sure I said, every Wednesday and Friday until the premiere of the Hunger Games. So I hope you guys are ready, and I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye!